I know you started this fund in 2006. I know you and your family have had lifelong appreciation of art, especially American masters. But what gave you the idea to start the Collectors Funds?
Well, it wasn't too far from here, as a matter of fact. We were in New York and we were out with friends. We saw a work of art that we both loved very much that was just a touch out of our budget range, and we decided that maybe we should buy it together.
So what is so special? So that was back in 2006. Obviously, the fund has come a long way. You have a 110-member families. What's so special about art in general as an investment class?
Well, it's particularly good now relative to the fears, I think, that are in the average market. When you think about equities, you think about bond. I think folks are beginning to look a little bit more thoroughly at alternative assets and what they represent in an uncorrelated opportunity against these other asset classes. So over time, art has done very well. Art, going back for centuries, has been a way to preserve wealth for families. It's a market that's very vibrant and very large currently. It's also very inefficient, so the ability to take advantage of those inefficiencies when one purchases with a discipline can add significant value to the asset itself.
Okay, so I do want to get more into this idea of efficiencies, inefficiencies, and quite frankly, how you are executing better, because while there are not tons and tons of art funds out there, yours is not alone. What makes yours different?
Well, we were the first in the United States. I think we may still be the largest in the United States. We're on our second fund currently. As you said, the first fund started in 2006. Very strong financial performance, but we add to that the aspect of rotation, which is what you talked about, the fact that the art goes into our members' homes. So they're having a wonderful aesthetic appreciation opportunity while also achieving great
Sandy,
financial.
how nervous were you the first time you let something go into someone's home? Come on.
As long as it wasn't with my children, I was fine.
All right.
It was,
but no
it's worked out well.
umbrellas attached to backpacks and somebody's running around?
We do the installations. We insure the collection against any sort of risk this way, and our professional installers, and we do reserve the right to say that this work has to be in a particular place in the home versus perhaps where maybe someone else.
So you do
want it.
due diligence, so to speak. And how high are the insurance costs?
Well, interestingly, the insurance costs are lower than you might find at a museum because of the geographic dispersion of the assets across all of our members' homes.
You talked about inefficiencies. There can be up to 20%. Art is a high friction business, right? You have the dealers, sometimes you have the auction houses. I mean, there are a lot of people in the mix normally taking a cut.
It's a very large market too.
Taking that out?
Yeah, so if you think about the market, and various ranges exist, some folks will say 40 billion in annual turnover, some folks will say 80 billion in annual turnover. What I know sort of empirically is that the frictional cost at dealer or gallery is 20 to 30%. So there's a very large frictional toll that's being placed on that annual turnover. And if you buy privately, or you buy from the artist, or you buy in a more efficient way, maybe from a slightly distressed seller, and you have the advantages that we have with ready capital and ready funds to make those acquisitions, you can buy those assets quite well.
What kind of distressed situations? I'm assuming divorce, death, or heirs fighting over pieces?
And it might just be privacy. You know, maybe it's that the individual doesn't really care to tell the world that they're selling at auction or at gallery. Maybe they want to have a discreet sale to a fund like ours where we also have members who will appreciate the art. Often that owner enjoys the asset appreciation and the aesthetic appreciation and want to see it put into hands of similar intent.
Why do you focus on the segments, the particular segments that you do? Is there an advantage to American masters that is different from other periods or other kinds of art?
In that 40 or $50 billion turnover market, still 70% of that is in the American masters. And there's a seminal moment in the history of art in the world that happened in New York, beginning with the abstract expressionist movement and moving through to the color fields. That is a celebrated moment around the world, whether it's in the Middle East or Asia or South America. Those are the works they're sought after, and we focus on the middle tier of those works, the most liquid of those works, not the ones that are the global trophies per se, but the ones that are in the middle tier of $500,000 to $3 to $5 million in value.
I know the Collectors Fund is a closed fund. You have 110 members. How are the returns so far?
Well, now we are opening up a second fund currently.
But since the first one is closed, you have to tell me.
I can tell you as a point of fact that the communications that have gone out to the members and the sales now at 23–24% of the funds have been sold, or the art's been sold out of the fund, and the returns have averaged 28%.